Welcome everybody to week 5 of Pilates mat class, movement integration. So while I'm talking, I'm going to give a brief introduction. I'll try and make it brief. I'd like you to stand. What you're going to need today is your mat and maybe a folded towel if you need it for your head, or a pillow for your stomach, but that's about it. And so movement integration. It's putting it all together. We spent the last 4 weeks going over in pretty much detail the principles of Pilates, okay? The axial elongation, elongating the spine, the alignment of our head, shoulders, all the way down to our feet, the core stability, that transverse abdominis, those lower abdominals to give us that core stability so that we can move our limbs off a nice stable base. And then we looked at organization of the upper extremity, organization of the lower extremity, and last week was looking at our articulation, getting each vertebra moving one vertebra at a time, making as big of an arc of movement as we can and distributing those forces through the spine. So today, movement integration is putting that, all those aspects together in movement. And I sent a little anatomy lesson on slings of the body, the anatomical slings of the body. And before we go into that, and I hope right now you're standing in your good posture, tripod on your feet, little arch in your feet, knees unlocked, neutral pelvis, you're going to find that position, and then stacking your shoulder blades, rib cage, head up. So spend a little time there while I'm talking, just 2 more minutes. And so what holds our body together and makes everything move? We have our muscles and our bones, but what gives it our integrity is our fascia. And fascia is a connective tissue in our body that's sort of like saran wrap or cling wrap. And it moves and it envelops one muscle and then twists and turns and goes down to another. So it connects us all and gives us our integrity. And our body has what we call anatomical slings, where the connective tissue of the muscles, the ligaments, and the fascia work together to give us stability, and certain slings that give us stabilization. So example, I sent you just a few, you can Google it and get a wealth of knowledge on it. But for example, the posterior sling is here, my glute on one side works with my lat on the other side, okay, and my inner thigh on this side here. So that gives me my stabilization. So something like, you know, when we used to travel and we'd get on the bus or the little tram at the airport, you'd have to hold on and you'd have your suitcase in one hand. You're going to be more stable if you use your right hand and stabilize through your left leg. So just examples of that we're going to look at today when we look into movement integration. And we're going to look and see how does our head work with our shoulders? How do our ribs and our pelvis work together? And so first we're going to start out with a lot of that rib-pelvis connection, because they are very connected by our oblique muscles and our quadratus lumborum back here. So I'm not going to do any more anatomy. We're going to do mostly exercise here today now. So let me have you go ahead and sit down on your mat. We're going to go in the position and lift your butt cheeks away so you can feel that you're sitting on your sit bones and you can be in a neutral spine position, not rounded. So I'm going to try and sit up as tall as I can. And we're going to just first start out with some gentle thoracic rotation. So I want you to be up nice and tall, neutral spine, breath in. Exhale, and then just turn your body to where it's comfortable. And a little pulse, back to the middle, get tall. Breathing in, exhale, little rotation to the other side. So we're not pushing real hard, we're just warming the spine up. Breath in, axial elongation, turn, turn. Breath in as I get tall through my spine. And then turn, turn. I'm thinking about my ribs going to my opposite hip. Thinking about that barber pole that's making me tall before our turn. And breath in, get tall, turn, turn. And where that motion is happening, we talked about last week, get tall as you breathe in, exhale, turn, is from about my bra strap up through my cervical spine. But I'm initiating from here and back. Okay, so now we're going to go and we're going to do a little more, a bigger movement of that rotation along with some flexion. We're going to saw our pinkies off, okay? Our pinkies on our feet here. So you're going to get in a long sit position, legs a little more than with hip width apart. You can have your knees bent if you need to because your hamstrings are tight, okay? I'm going to sit up on my sit bones, breath in, exhale, rotate right hand to left pinky, and come back up, getting tall. Exhale, rotate. Happening right about from my bra strap. Exhale, tall, and rotate. Or for you guys, a little bit lower than your nipple line. And rotate. And up tall. Exhale, rotate. Now my goal is to try and get my pinky to my my toe pinky, but I'm a little stiff and I'm not quite getting there. So you go to where you can, making that rotation through the thoracic spine with a tall spine. One more each side. Rotate and come up tall and rotate and up tall. So that's integrating our ribs on our pelvis there, okay? I'm gonna have you come with your feet together, parallel, slightly bent knees, hold on underneath your thighs, and we're gonna just start articulating to a little roll down. We're gonna go part way down, feeling that articulation one at a time. Breath in, exhale. I stack my pelvis up, and then I try and stack one vertebra at a time up on top of each other, getting tall. Breath in, exhale. Roll down. I'm using those abdominals to really give me that flexion through my pelvis, lumbar spine, going down part way. My gaze is straight ahead. Breath in, exhale. Abdominals help pull me up. I can use my hands if I want, if I don't have enough strength, okay? One more time. Breath in, exhale. Roll down, pelvis tucks underneath, then my lumbar spine. Now I'm going down into my thoracic spine. I take another breath in, exhale, then come on up. So just a review of that spinal articulation from last week. This time, let's go all the way down onto our back. So breath in, exhale, articulating down one at a time. Okay, and we're gonna get ourselves organized on the mat. Feel the mat, get some perception, proprioception from the mat. Find that neutral spine in your lumbar spine. We're gonna do a classic Pilates 100 exercise. Just because mat class, Pilates mat class, you've got to have Joe's big one, the Pilates 100s. And so it's 100 breaths that you're going to be taking. You're going to be pulsing your arms. So I'm just breaking it down here. Up and down like this. And your breath is going to be in through your nose 10 times. And then out through your mouth 10 times as you're pulsing. And then the challenge is where you're going to be working with your legs, okay? You will be in a curled up position doing that breathing. Easiest position, legs on the feet on the floor here. Next position, a little more challenging, legs up here, okay? I'm in a chest lift, legs are lifted. Next position that's harder is the legs straight up. And then if I bring them down to where I can, still keeping my core on. So I'm gonna let you choose where you wanna be with this. If while we're doing it, your neck gets tired, you're gonna just bring your head down. You can do the pulsing and the breathing with your head down if you're getting a neck strain. Okay, I'm gonna start in tabletop. So breath in, exhale. core muscles come on. Lift the legs to tabletop if you can. Curl up, gazing down at your belly button, and let's go. Really feel those abdominals kicking in. I'm going to go into a harder position. Okay, so now you can say you've done the classic Joseph Pilates 100. That's firing up your circulation, your breathing, getting those deep abdominals on. Okay, so now let's go into some curl up positions, looking at how our ribs are integrating with our pelvis. A chest lift, okay, so hands behind your head, coat hanger arms, breath in. I'm in neutral spine right now to start out with. Breath in, exhale, lifting my sternum, chest up, and then coming back down. Breath in, exhale, gaze down at your belly button, lift your chest up. I'm not going up any further than my ribs, my bottom ribs, about to my bottom lip ribs or bra line. Exhale. Look down, gaze down, chest lift, hold, and come down. If you can, try and think about doing that with an articulation. Breath in, I nod my head slightly, come up. Now my thoracic spine comes up. Breath in, exhale, and come down. So using those abdominals, one more. And come on down. So we're going to do another 4 or 5 of those in a more challenging position with your legs at tabletop. Bring your legs up to tabletop, hips and knees bent to 90-90. Breath in, exhale. Look down, lift your chest up. And then come on back down. I'm having to use not only my upper abdominals now, but my lower abdominals as I'm holding my legs up in the air. And down. 3 more. Nod down, curl up. Feel those abdominals, feel that connection, and come on down. Exhale, come on up. And back down. And one more. Chin nod down, lift up, keep coat hanger arms, and back down. Bring your knees into your chest and give them a little stretch. So we're going to go into a single leg pull, okay? We're going to be up in that curled up position, okay? Chest lift, bringing one knee to your chest and then the other. So let's start in tabletop. Breath in, exhale. One leg up, second leg up, chest lift, and now. Double pulse of your leg towards you with your hands. If your neck's getting tired, bring your head down. Do one more each side. Good. Knees to the chest. And again, I'm just going to do a little stretching through there. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of some rotations, okay? Easiest position is with the feet down and rotating up, thinking about my ribs going to my opposite hip. Breath in, exhale, and rotate. So this is a little chest lift to warm us up. Thinking of my rib going to my opposite hip. I'm connecting my rib cage to my pelvis. One more, then we'll go in. If you want to stay in this position, you can. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, I'm going to have you bring your legs up to tabletop now. Okay, my right elbow's going to my left knee, and then my right knee leg's going out. So breath in, exhale. I'm staying up in my little bit of a chest lift as I rotate. These are your oblique muscles. I'm hoping you're feeling them. They go from your rib cage down towards your pubic bone, touch into your pelvis. One more each side. Bring those knees into the chest and let them round a little bit there. Okay, we've been doing a lot of flexion. So we're going to go into some bridges. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Oh, yeah. Before we go into bridge, let's do a seated rollover because we practiced it last week and I want to remind you guys about it. So laying down flat, breath in. As you exhale, arms go overhead. And now exhaling, coming on up. Try and articulating one vertebra at a time, stacking the vertebra, and then diving over that beach ball as I try and get some flexion in my lumbar spine. And then stacking my vertebra. I'm going to go down one vertebra at a time, thinking of my sit bones, reaching to my heels, using my abdominals to control that way down. If you need to have your knees bent while you're doing it, okay. Breath in, exhale. Start articulating, chin to the throat. My gaze goes down towards my chest, to my belly button, across the room to the wall. Getting up tall, diving over the beach ball or a big barrel, rounding out, making that big C curve. Coming back up, stacking the vertebra, and going back down one at a time. So this takes some practice to do it smoothly. We're going to do it one more time. So if you aren't coming all the way up with these, don't worry about it. Keep practicing it, and you're going to get stronger coming up there. And reach over that big beach ball. And come on back, stack the pelvis up. Lumbar vertebra, thoracic vertebra, and now I'm going to go down. And as I go down, my tailbone and my sit bones are reaching towards my heels. And then I try and articulate one at a time. So something to keep practicing and getting better at. But we've been doing a lot of flexion. We're going to do open up our hips some and go into extension. And it's our gluteals back here that help us get in that position. So we're going to first do a few spine curl bridges. So get in your neutral spine, relax your upper chest, neck, okay? Your neck may have been a little tweaked from doing all that curl up stuff, so just move it side to side. Okay, so now breath in, exhale, tailbone goes towards the pubic bone. I start peeling my vertebra up. Lower ones first, one, one, one. Trying to get that articulation. I get to the top. Breath in, exhale, top vertebra is going to go down. You can use your hands on your spine like I'm doing to try and facilitate and say one at a time coming down. You can use visual cues, thinking of that strand of pearls. Laying on the table, exhale, tailbone to pubic bone, and now you're trying to lift up one pearl at a time, really using those lower abdominals, pulling in to get me up, pushing through my heels as I get to the top, using my glutes. Breath in, exhale, start at the top and come down one vertebra at a time. Now I'm laying down one pearl at a time. Okay, great. I call it nutrition to the spine to get all this moving. Exhale and articulate up. This time as we come up, you're pushing through your heels, we're going to do some single leg extensions. So we really have to use our glute on one side, our lat and oblique on the opposite side. So once you're up, you're going to extend a leg and back down. Shift my weight to the right side. Engage my right glute, my left lat. Extend my left leg. Hold there. Trying to keep my pelvis steady. Okay, so if I had 2 martinis, I'm shifting to my left now. Extending my right leg. So my left glute and now my right, I'm pushing my right arm into the table to fire my lat. Get that posterior sling working. Shift. If you're getting cramps doing this, don't even lift your leg up. Maybe just do a little heel lift or just stay doing the straight bridge. Shift to the left and extend. Hold. Feel that connection across the body right now. One more each side. Good. And now articulate down if you can, one at a time. Bring those knees in towards your chest. Roll around on that spine. Just loosen it up a little bit. Okay, we are going to go into some side positions. So side lying, I'm going to be on my right side. This is where you can choose different options of how we're going to do some leg circles one way, the other way, and then some forward, backwards. So what you can choose is how you want to align your head and neck. If you want a pillow and keep your hair down, that's probably the easiest on your neck, so forth. A little more work is coming up onto your hand here. More work is to be in this sort of position where I'm almost going into a side plank. Okay, I'm going to start here. Let's start middle ground here. Okay, I'm going to line up and stack my my hips on top of each other. I'm going to extend, and you can have the bottom leg straight or bent. If I bend it, it's going to give me a little bit more stability, because what I want is stability through my trunk here as my hip is moving. So breath in, exhale, lift your waist angle, pull in those abdominals, lengthen your spine, lift that leg up, reach it out of your hip. And now we're going to do circles. So let's go forward, small circles. Now, if you're having trouble stabilizing and you feel like your trunk's moving around, put your top hand down to support you. Otherwise, work through here to keep your stability. Good, and now let's go back other direction. Okay, so now stop your leg there. I'm going to go up into this position if you want to, and this is hard for me to stay stable, but I'm going to put my elbow underneath my shoulder, line myself up. I'm going to bring my leg forward and then back. Lift up, across over the body, and back. I'm thinking about lifting my lower rib cage away from the floor, staying stable through my shoulder so I can work some shoulder stability stuff here. If I get in this position, lift and reach it over. But I'm using my gluteal muscle, gluteus medius, gluteus maximus in the back. If I can't stay aligned, I'm going to put my top hand down on the ground to help me if I feel like my trunk is moving around. Good. Let's do one more. Great. Okay, so little rotation stretch now. Bottom leg can be bent, bottom leg straight, sorry, top leg bent, and then you can reach your top arm back behind you. You could even use your bottom arm to pull your top thigh forward and get that nice stretch through the mid and low back there. Take 2 deep breaths here. Getting a little bit more rotation through that thoracic spine. with the second and third breath. Okay, so we're going to check out the other side. Okay, you're going to choose your head position, supported on the pillow, your arm, your hand, your shoulder. Okay, I'm going to go down here just as an example. I'm going to line up, stack my hips on top of each other. I'm going to start with some support with my top arm. Lift my waist angle. Think about making a little mouse hole here at the bottom. Okay, so you're not just scrunched down into the mat. Lift my waist away from the mat. Lift my leg up. And now circles. And opposite direction. I'm going to take my hand away, say, this is harder now. I've got to really work to stabilize through my trunk so my trunk isn't rolling around, and keeping my hips stacked on top of each other. Easier here, but I'm working more if I take my hand off. Okay. Lengthen that body. I'm going to go up to here. Okay. Trying to stay long. Lifting my bottom waist angle and bring that leg up and over and then back. If you're on your elbow, pay attention to what's happening at your scapula. Is my ear going to my shoulder? Keep length between my ear and my shoulder. Good. My femur is moving in its socket. I'm trying to keep the rest of my body pretty stable. Good. One more each way, forward and backward. Great. So let's go for the stretch. Bottom leg straight, top knees bent, sort of hooked on that top one. And then just reach back behind you with your top arm. Your bottom hand can just reach onto that thigh and give you a little bit more stretch. With each breath, try and rotate a little bit more. Have the rotation happening in the thoracic spine. Okay, so we're going to go into extension. We do a lot of flexion in Pilates, and extension is very important. Getting these back muscles strong. Okay, so let yourself get organized on your tummy. If you want a pillow underneath your tummy, great. If not, you're just going to be flat. We're going to do some leg kicks, okay? So the beat is 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? But what's happening in my uppers? We have some choices here. So easiest level, head down on my hands, and then I lift my head up. Shoulder blades are back and down. So let's start here, and then I'll go through and give you options. As I'm here on my stomach, I'm going to pull my navel towards my spine, pull my navel away from the mat. I'm going to lift up my toes off the floor there. Kick, 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 kick. Using the back of my legs, okay? Hamstrings are working here. Glutes are working a little. Abdominals are pulling you up, okay? As I lower my leg down, I'm extending it out, then bending the other knee for 2 pulses. Okay, so options on this. You can come up on a little bit more extension, okay? We're working those back extensions. You can make your hands into fists and push them together here. Think about pulling your elbows towards your feet, pulling your abdominals. I'm keeping my gaze down towards the ground, elongating my spine. One more each side. And come down. Another option, just so you guys have options at home when you're doing this, is to come into a little bit of a prone press up here, okay? Just a prone little lift here. My ribs are still on the ground there. I'm lifting my abdominals up, lift my feet up, squeeze, I wasn't telling you that, squeeze your legs together on this one. Think about squeezing your legs together, getting your adductors in, and now think of your elbows going towards your feet, okay? That's gonna help lift my chest. Think of your navel going towards your spine. One more each side. So just options you can do on your head position and shoulder positions as you're doing those double knees kicks. I'm just getting a lot of this area going. I want to just do an active back extensor here, so a dart. So I'm going to start with my arms at my side, and if you want to put a little folded towel on your forehead. Okay, so you're going to take a breath in, exhale, my head lifts up, shoulder blades back and down, arms lift, squeeze my legs together and lift them off the floor. It's a small movement, and then back down. Breath in, exhale. Pull that navel up towards your spine. Lift your head, lengthen your spine, lift your shoulder blades together. Squeeze your thighs together. Feet come up off the ground and down. 3 more. Breath in, exhale. Axial elongation. Transverse abdominis comes in. Squeeze those shoulder blades together. Fire those posterior muscles. And come on back down. Breath in, exhale. As my head comes up, I'm not letting it go into a V position. I'm keeping it long. My gaze is down to the ground. And come down. And one more. It's like my head and my tailbone are reaching up away from each other as I come up into that extension position and back down. Great. Okay. Definitely we're going to go come up onto your hands, go back into child's pose here. Take about 3 deep breaths here. Okay, now we're going to come into quadruped. We're going to find our neutral spine position, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Rock that pelvis back and forth. Find where that neutral position is. Think of what's happening in your shoulder blades. Push your hands away from each other, pinkies away from each other to engage that serratus anterior. Nice broad back. And then we're going to do some opposite arm and leg extensions. Extend one leg out, opposite arm. Hold there, stabilize. Come back to middle. Shift your weight onto your left leg. Good. So again, right now, I'm using my posterior sling muscles to do this. If I had 2 glasses of champagne on my back, I'm not going to spill them. Even as I'm shifting my weight from one side to the other, get yourself organized, make a long extension of the arm and leg off that stable trunk. Feel what's happening in your scapula. Each time I lift my one arm, my stabilizing arm, I'm thinking about really getting a long distance between my ear and my shoulder, not locking out my elbow, keeping a nice broad back. Great. Let's do one more each side. And come down and stretch into child's pose. Okay, we're going to do one more on the mat here. While you're stretching, you're going to have options. We're going to do a front plank and a leg pull. If that's too hard for you, just stay in a front plank. Don't worry about the leg pull. Or you can go in a plank on your forearms if your wrists are an issue and just do a leg extension. Okay, but let's get up onto hands and knees again. Organize and lengthen your spine. Get your shoulder girdle stable, okay? Extend one leg out, okay? Second leg out. Feel your plank position here. If this is feeling good, you're gonna bring one knee towards your chest, extend back out and down. Lift the opposite leg, knee towards your hand, back and down. Lift the leg, knee towards your hand, extend out and down. Lift the leg, knee towards your chest, and back and down. Again, lift, bring the knee towards your hand and back and down. One more on the other side. Lift towards your hand and down, okay? Options I was talking about, if your wrists are bothering you and you just don't like that position, I really like forearm plank. Okay, get myself organized. And then just lifting a leg. Okay, so just another option. Great. Just wanted to give you some chances to see other ones. So back into child's pose. Couple of breaths. We're going to work on coming up to standing, one vertebra at a time. So from your quadruped position, let's bring one foot forward, other foot forward. I'm bent over now. Knees can be softly bent. Going to take a breath in and exhale, drop my tailbone down. Start articulating up one vertebra at a time. Head over the shoulders, shoulder blades back and down, getting nice and tall. Find that articulated and aligned position you've been working on all these weeks that you're going to take out into the world. And so movement integration, it's just getting everything working together and feeling the power of the ribs and the pelvis and the legs and the arms all working as a unit. So next week is our last one, and we'll just get moving again. So take care. Bye-bye.